Hi, this is Rabbi Orlofsky, and welcome to the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. And whether you're watching with our friends over at Torah Anytime, or wherever you watch or listen to your podcast, as always, we are delighted to have you along. And we have a sponsor for this episode. And I am continuing to mention that we do need sponsorships to be able to keep this wonderful thing going. And to expand it, we can sponsor an episode, question and answer. There won't be a question and answer this week, but when we have a question and answer, you could sponsor that. You could sponsor the 5-minute Parsha in 5, that special program that we have. In any event, this one is sponsored by our good friends, Yoel and Ahuva Shmel, as a schus for Klal Yisrael and Haidah to Hashem. And we love you and thank you so much. And this should be a schus not just for Klal Yisrael, but for you and your whole extended mishpacha. And as you know, because of the matzav, meaning, of course, the terrible situation we're in, a number of Gedolei Torah have said that what we need to do during this time is Mischazek ourselves in our Shmiras Shabbos. And that's been our series. We've been talking about Shabbos. And in fact, our producer, Yisrael, who, by the way, Mazel Tov, just had a little baby girl.
Mazel Tov.
Chana Meira. Rattled that one off. Pretty good. I can't remember my own grandchildren. Anyway, so he says to me, I didn't know you had so much to say about Shabbos. And I said, apparently I have a lot to say about everything. And if having a podcast has taught me anything, is that I can talk for 200 hours without any preparation. But anyway, we just did a 2-part series on Zmiros, where I basically tried to give a shot in the Zmiros so that the words will be a little bit more meaningful to everybody. And if you haven't seen those, go back now and watch them. They are available wherever you watch your podcasts. But that's only half of it. Half of it is, of course, the words. The other half of it is the Niggunim. And that's why sometimes you could just sing a Niggun. Sometimes they'll just do a Niggun, even without any words. But the Zmiros with the Niggun tends to be very powerful. So as it happens, we are now in the 6th year of the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. I have, during those years, have only ever had 2 repeat guests. My son Yaakov, who just keeps coming back on. He's a fan favorite of my wife. And of course, my other son, Moshe Yehuda, and his Waterbury boys have been on twice. That's because, part of the deceptiveness of this video is that since I am so photogenic and I am so relaxed, people think it's really easy to just sit here and look at a camera and talk, and it's not. And so the first time they were on, they realized they were a little too stiff. So they practiced and came back and really killed it the second time. So maybe we'll have them on a third time. We'll see. But now this is, besides family members, this is the first repeat guest we've ever had. The one and only Ari Goldwag.
Thank you.
The music sensation, who is Mamish Ma'ayin Hamizgaber, both in Torah and in music. I don't know if everybody knows this, but for a while he had a show on Kol Chai.
No, yes,
On Kol
Play.
It
was called Gold Play.
Gold Play.
Doesn't get much.
And at one
better.
point he made an offer. He says, just I'll make up whatever you want. I'll make up a song about it. And that's not easy to do, because I have not made up really any songs that I know of on purpose. So sometimes I do, and then someone says to me, yeah, that's
another song.
I forgot that I had heard it someplace. So, but actually, my children make up songs, but I that's not my gift. In fact, I'll tell you an interesting music story. You know Shmuel Kunda, Shalom?
Yes.
So
Familiar.
when I used to write a chinuch column in the Hamodia, I did a little review on children's tapes, and I viewed them with a critical eye, but I was very impressed with his, when Zadie was young series and certain other ones. And I now I'm writing a column in the Hamodia. I wasn't anybody in particular. He calls me up to thank me. He says, "You're the first person who ever acknowledged what I do." I was shocked. He says, "I sent it to my mother." I couldn't believe it. Yeah. And he said to me, my early tapes, I took takeoffs on existing songs. And then I realized I had to make up my own songs, but I didn't know how. So I davened that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give me the ability to make up songs. And for the Zadie's Young series and some of the other ones, he made up his own songs. And he says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu just gave me the koyach.
So Rabbi Orlofsky, there's hope. You could daven. Maybe you could.
I do, and every now and then
start making up songs.
I made up this song. In fact, because I'll tell you what in a second why I wanted you to do this. But I made up this song. I don't know if you ever heard it. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem.
That sounds familiar. I think you might have taken it from somewhere.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine where. But anyway, so we'll see. It would, if I also could make up songs, considering how unbelievably talented I already am, it just wouldn't be fair to the world, I think. So
I would definitely not feel comfortable. I would not feel comfortable to be on your show.
So I'll tell you why. So after I did a 2-part on Shmiras, I said, now I want to bring in somebody who can actually sing and understand music and make the Niggunim meaningful for people. And immediately I thought of you, and I'll tell you why, because you were on in the first year of the podcast. And I called you up, and you hadn't really heard about the podcast, but your kids told you to go on, you told me. Which was good enough for me.
Sounds
and
right.
We sang a bunch of Ari Goldwag hits. And at the end, you said to me, you never asked me for my curry bun. And I filed that away for 5 years. This has been rattling around inside of my head. So when I said, I need someone to do Shmiras, I said, Ari Goldwag, here's a chance for him to do the curry bun that we missed the last time. So
it's never too late.
This is my first non-family repeat guest on the Rabbi Orlofsky show.
It is a great honor. Thank you so much.
And we have. So
it was amazing that Hashem brought us together at the chasana.
Yeah.
So we could sit together, schmooze,
and I will tell you,
obviously this was Min
HaShamayim. I had told
Min HaShamayim.
I told Yisrael weeks ago that I wanted to ask you to come on, and then I met you at the Masa. And so I said, "Oh, this is great. Can you come on to the podcast?" And you said yes immediately. And I was so deeply touched and moved that I almost didn't finish my Bereka.
Wow.
Anyway,
wow. Rabbi.
Almost.
I didn't know. My words were so touching. If I would have known, I would have been like Aaron HaKohen, come out with Tupim and Machailas.
So what's Shmiras like in the Goldwag house? How was it when you were growing up? Did you sing Shmiras growing up?
We did.
Yeah?
We did sing Shmiras growing up.
Your dad, the famous sock man.
Yes.
We did sing.
Man. My father, Baruch Hashem, my father and my mother both sing well.
Really?
And my father has a gift that when I do harmony, he doesn't get thrown off.
Wow.
So that's really good. We did sing. We sang classic tunes.
Yeah. But you were already writing songs as a kid.
Yes, that's correct. I was. I actually did have Menucha V'Simcha that I wrote when I was probably about 13 or 14. But we didn't sing those songs at my table. We sang whatever, the regular stuff, I don't even remember what we sang, but we sang
And now when you were home?
Yeah. And then when I went to yeshiva.
Ones? Yeah.
So I went to yeshiva for Akko in 10th grade. And then we got the more yeshiva tunes like Baruch El Elyon, which we'll get to. And the Mizmor LeDavid, we have to do 3 of them. So you have to Mizmor LeDavid, Ben Sin Shanker, and then you have to know Mizmor LeDavid, which is Reb Shmuel Brazil, Hashem Ro'i Lav Avayechzar, and another one which is from Mudgets and
which is a Mizmor Dovid.
I don't know where that's from. I don't know that song. We never sang that one.
Isn't there a Dvekis Mizmor Dovid?
Not that I'm aware of. But they had a curry bone. Curry bone alam.
Yeah.
That's Dvekis ve'omaya.
That's the famous one. They
That's
had another
a few
one.
years before the Shalom Aleichem Malachem.
They had another one. They had the Kariban Ilam.
No, that's a different one.
That's
That's
the
the
famous
same
one.
one.
Now, my son Moshe Yehuda was with me by Landau, Rabbi Landau, Harav, the Rebbe Landau. I don't know if you know Landau in Flatbush.
Okay.
My
Yes, as in Landau's shul.
That's right. It's one of my favorite stories. I was here in Eretz Yisrael. I was speaking around. Anyway, he calls me. He says, "Hi, this is Landau." So I said, "Shalom Aleichem." From Landau's. I said, "Okay." He said, Landau's shul in Flatbush. I said, "No, I'm not familiar with it." He goes, "What do you mean? It's the biggest shul in Flatbush." I said, "No, I never heard of it." He goes, "Oh." Anyway, we have a speaker series during the winter. We get in the biggest speakers. You never heard of Landau? I said, "No, I'm a Long Island kid. I live in Far Rockaway. I didn't really know Brooklyn." Oh, anyway, during the winter we have Frand, we have you never heard of Landau? Anyway, so finally, Project Inspire did a Shabbos in Flatbush, and they sent me to Friday night. I ate by Landau, and my son Moshe Yehuda happened to be in America then. He was with me, and Dvekis is, of course, was Abi Rottenberg, husband LA with, and
Label
Sharfman, who was not there.
Right.
And
it switched between
the older Schwebel.
Well, the old Rivi Schwebel, but before that, it was, I think his name is Yitzi Weinberger.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. The original deep voice was Mihoish. So that was not Rivi, that was...
Right, so Rivi, who I've had this spend many Shabbat with.
And also Eli Kranzler and Yossi Sonnenberg.
Yeah, so he was eating there Friday night with us. And me and him sang that curry bun, which is haunting. It's a haunting curry bun.
And who's the composer? I think, if I'm not mistaken, Baruch Menzelewski.
Was it?
I think.
Wow.
I think.
So he, I do his Kel Adon when I have the Shabbos when I have Yortzeit. So I do his Kel Adon. Kel Adon, Hakol Hamazim, Baruch. Nobody knows it.
I don't know.
Anyway, nobody knows it. I'm the only one in the world who knows it. Anyway, he used to sing it in yeshiva. I was in yeshiva with him a couple of times.
Okay.
But it's haunting. It's a haunting melody. Anyway, so me and Rivi were singing it. And Moshe Yehuda was singing along, and I said, "You understand? This is Dvekis, who's sitting here right now, who's singing this song, So, but anyway, let's so let's start at the beginning, right?
Okay.
Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
We're already up to what do you call it? Kiddush Levana.
Right.
So with Shalom Aleichem. So I did it before, the classic Shalom Aleichem. You don't know where that comes from.
It's an old song. It's, I think, not composed by someone from.
Really?
I think it was composed by someone conservative. And because I heard a story that when Shmuel Brazil composed his Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashareis Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ayayay Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashareis Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Malachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. The advantage of that Shalom Aleichem is that you can do you can do each one 3 times.
Right, it goes easier with 3 times.
So
the other one you have to always keep your cheshbon.
Or do a high part
and
twice.
Suddenly you come to the end of Tzeichem and you realize I'm on the 3rd time and I'm doing the first part, so I missed something.
So when Rabbi Brazil composed his Shalom Aleichem, I don't remember who it was. It's a legend. I don't know. We have to ask Rabbi Brazil. Maybe bring him on the show. But a chashuv person said to him, "Shakayach, we finally have a from version of this song." But whatever. Lamaisa Klal Yisrael sings it.
Klal Yisrael is from the time I was a kid. I never heard another Shalom Aleichem besides that one.
Yeah.
You know. So where are the Shalom Aleichems from 100 years ago?
This is one of them. Shalom Aleichem, it's for sure 100 years old. The benching, by the way, that we do, Baruch Atah Hashem, it's also 100 years old.
Yeah.
Or more. We're singing a lot of old songs. That's why people think that my curry bone is 100 years old.
Right. Well, certain ones become timeless and others disappear. Just mamish right away. They're on the scene and then they vanish. But there was a Shalom Aleichem my friend Shilaim first did when I was out in Los Angeles as a bacher, and I would eat by him Friday night, especially on those late summer ones, you know, and you're like already dropping, you know, if you make late Shabbos, you know, and it was, you know, it just moves along a little faster. That's not the one, but whose is that?
That's Mendy Werdiger. Mendy Werdiger has it on his album Chaverim.
Yeah.
It's rather similar to Shalom Aleichem. It goes
Shalom Aleichem. No, that's not it either. Gosh, see, I don't have a head for music. That's why if I forget it, I could sit there for days and not get it.
I have an idea.
Back.
Make up a new Shalom Aleichem and it will be that one.
It was like almost tuneless. It just like goes back and forth.
I heard that when Rabbi Brazil made up his song, he came in Friday night. He was in a rush. He was like, "Shalom Aleichem, we have to confirm all these stories.
So, are there any other Shalom Aleichems that people actually sing? So there's been a lot that's been written. Like you brought the Dvekas one. Right. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashareis, Malachei.
You have to repeat that joke. We're the only ones who are laughing.
It was I spoke in Rabbi Sharfman Seminary.
What was the topic?
About platonic relationships. It's the first one of my shiurim that went platinum. So today they talk about it going viral, but back then, you know, something that was a hit went platinum. And I spoke on this topic in the Sharfman Seminary, and I was teaching it with Dovid.
It was probably like 2000.
It has to be 33 years ago, 34 years ago. 33.
I'm trying to think, because when did Dvekas 5? It was Dvekas 5.
Yeah.
Which came out, I think, mid 90s, you think?
Yeah,
I think it was late 90s. Okay.
But I came back, and the next morning I was giving a shiur, and they say, "Hey, Rebbe, I heard you spoke about platonic relationships last night." So how do you know? He goes, "I got a copy of the tape." By the end of the week, every yeshiva and seminary had a copy of the tape. But I started off, since I was in very sharp in seminary, by making fun of him. And
naturally.
He afterwards, you know, he called me up to offer an explanation, because he was, evidently I hit a sore spot there, you know, because when they sing, the first song on the album of Vegas 5 was Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashareis Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu I said, "This is how we know we're getting old." That's what I said, you know. So he says to me, "It's all digital today. We could have taken that out. We left it on purpose because we thought it made a nice, you know."
It sounded natural.
Yeah,
it was a cappella.
He thought it gave it a nice sound to it, you know. And here I am making fun of him. So, chas v'shalom, you know, because he is not only a beautiful voice and tremendous musical talent. He is a mechanech par excellence. Also, just a wonderful, wonderful person. So I throw all of that in.
Wait, so to your question of Shalom Aleichems, are there any other major Shalom Aleichems that are being sung? I don't know, but I could tell you, I composed a melody for Shalom Aleichem, which Benny Friedman sang. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Asher is Malachei Ay Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei Amelochim Malchei Amelochim Agodash Baruch Hu. So I don't know if people ended up singing at their Shabbos tables, but it had its tkufa of being popular.
It's funny. I don't know which tunes become, Eishes Chayil.
Well, I'll say to that point, every song, I always say this, every song has its mazel.
Yeah.
And there are songs that have a mazel that, wow, they're huge for a few years. Like Rachem, anybody remember Rachem? Rachem, Rachem. So it had its mazel. But
to me, Rachem, it's because it's really only one part.
Right, it just keeps going. It's just like a run-on sentence. But that's why he does it. So
do you remember the Asper's Malchuscha?
Malchuscha.
It's the same tune.
Right.
Just
right.
Malchuscha, Malchuscha Olamim, Mamshadecha, B'chol Dada, Malchuscha, Malchuscha Olamim.
I'll tell you something. One of the most
annoying songs to sing.
But I'll tell you something. Just from my experience, like when you make a song where the low part and the high part are kind of similar, it like gets stuck in people's heads more.
Really?
So, because it's like, and then it starts to grate on you, but it's stuck. It's too late. That's sometimes that works. Like, sometimes that works really well.
Hot?
Sure.
Live in Yamin. It did not survive the test of time.
Right. So I think one of the secrets is to write a Shabbos zemer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
I mean, it's hard.
As we've seen with Shalom Aleichem, look how many Shalom Aleichems there are, and how many of them have actually
stood the test of time.
Stood the test of time. Right. That's the question.
Yeah.
Eishes Chayil. So everybody knows this thing.
Eishes Chayil. Ben Schenker composed it.
It sounds like it's very old.
It's 60s, 1960s,
so what they
50s
sing before
maybe. That? They sang. I don't know.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asher Reis, Malachei Elyon.
I knew you get it.
Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asher Reis, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asher Reis, Malachei Elyon.
You got the problem where you get the threes. You got the problem with the threes.
I know, but it doesn't take a lot of energy to sing it. It just sort of like so it's good on a late Shabbos. That's the one that we do. Shalom first sang it, and when I'm really tired, that's my go-to. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. Okay, so that's the Eishes Chayil.
So with Eishes Chayil, I'm not aware of any other tunes, but I'll tell you what happened. Well, I don't know. That's I don't know
it was in December.
What year did that album? I think that album was before I was born.
Had to be like 75.
Yeah, that predated my existence.
And there's another Eishes Chayil.
Well, see what happens is like Shweki puts out Eishes Chayil. Who's that?
So then it's not going to go.
No, that's not going to exactly be for Friday night. That's for like a chasana when you want to get everyone at the end. So that's what I was going to say. Like Shweki has his Eishes Chayil mimtzo v'rachok mipnei michro. But it's like a wedding song. It's not a song that you can sing at your Shabbos table.
Like a lot of Shweki Brazil, Niggunim, it's easy to fake if you don't know it.
But that's a mila also.
But I've never heard anyone say it.
If it's easy to sing, if it's easy to chop, it's like when when was it? I composed this song Karibon in 1998. Okay, so the song has only been around it's only existed for 25 years. Okay, it's not 100 years old.
This is the famous korban that we missed the list. But that is like that. The Vegas korban. It's haunting. It gets inside of you.
Your guts.
It gets in your guts. You can't forget it.
But it's very simple. Like I remember when I sang it when I was a bacher.
And it has a couple of like little kvetches in there that people who aren't good singers can play along with. Antu Malka Melech Malchaya Ayoy Vad Gevortech Vesimhaya Shvar Kadamach Le'arvaya Ay Karivana Karivana Ilam Ve'yomaya Antu Malka Ay Melech Malchaya. So those are things that people who can't sing can sing. That to me is like the best, because sometimes you have these really complicated kind of harmonies and stuff that you really need to be.
So it's a mila.
Tuneful.
It's a mila for a song to be simple and catchy. When I sang the song for the first time 23 years ago, I was a bacher in the mirror, and I was making my rounds to friends and Rebbeim, and I was singing the song to everybody, and they were like, "Wow, it's so beautiful." And I remember someone saying, "I know this song. I know this song already." And it was original, but it was just so. I hope
it gets in
I
your
didn't
kishkas.
steal it from anywhere, but it's so simple that you get it right away.
A Shabbos Zemer that gets into your kishkas is something that's really unbelievable. But my kids, they didn't call it the Ari Goldwag korban. They called it the Yeshivisha korban. This is what they sang in the yeshivas. My sons would, come to yeshiva. They say, "Oh, this is the Yeshivisha korban." So I mean, it's become mekubal among the Bnei Yeshivas. That's something special.
Yeah, And I'll also say that it's interesting because in America and in Europe, the song caught on very strong. Did not catch on as strong in Israel, interestingly, except in the yeshivas where there are Americans in the yeshiva, generally speaking. Because then the American guys teach it to the Israelis and they're like, "Oh, wow, this is pretty nice. Where is it from?" But I actually had a story that just happened to me. I told you before. On Friday, I was at a shiva of a family who the father, Elisha Lowenstern, he fell in Gaza. And terrible story. 6 kids, oldest is 12. His wife is really strong. Amazing people. And so I came there his wife asked me to come in to sing for the kids. The kids know my music very well. And I sat with them and I sang a few songs and I said, "Do you guys know the song Karibon?" And I started singing them Karibon. And the son, Eitan, who's 12, he's like, "I know that song, but I didn't know that you composed the song." He's like, "Yeshivat Yerucham sings this song." So, and then I actually had heard it before, but I went back to check, and they had there's a version, an Israeli version of it, singing Yaribon Alam, it has like a few 100,000 streams or whatever views on YouTube. So it's kind of nice. So the Israelis, maybe they'll pick it up too.
So before we go back to Korban, just
yes. Kiddush.
Kivanu v'chata v'sanu Kiddush. I grew up with that Kiddush.
So did I.
Where does that come from?
Young Israel of West Hempstead. I don't know.
That sounds like a Chazon Ish piece from some point.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I wish I was a musical historian, but I'm not. But
yeah.
But I sing that fast so that no one tries to sing along with me.
We
don't
only
need no hefsek.
On special Shabbosim when it's all basically family, I go out and get a bottle of Kedem Kiddush wine. because I can't get Manischewitz heavy Malaga. So I settled for the Kiddush
have that old time.
When I was growing up, it was Manischewitz heavy Malaga, extra heavy Malaga. And my dad would sing that. And so I'll sing it and I drag it out, you know.
Wait, but on Yontif, it's not the right tune for Yontif.
No, it's Shabbos.
What do you do on Friday night when it's Yontif? Do you sing Shmiras or not?
Yeah, I do. Do you? Not if it's the Seder.
You could do it by
I know
the
you
Seder.
could, but we don't because we're sort of like pressed for time. But on Yontif, sure. Otherwise,
we're already after Chatzos by the time we get to the meal.
How many V'samach b'chagecha can you sing? You know what I mean? Until after a while, it just starts to grin on you, you know? And especially at the end of like Sukkot. And you're just like, no. It's like Asher Bar at the end of Sheva Bracha. It's like you just had enough. But so that's the Kiddush, right? Okay,
Kiddush, yes.
So I mentioned this when I was going through it.
Yeah, okay.
We're going in order. Kol Mekadesh Shvi.
Yes.
Now, I only know one niggun.
Kol Mekadesh Shvi.
Right. That's the only one I know. Now,
yes.
My wife's...
It's a Hasidic niggun.
It is?
Composed by Suki Berry's father-in-law.
Really?
I think so. I saw that
So what were they singing before that?
They were singing Kol Mekadesh Shvi.
No, so my wife's uncle, who is Chazan Klein, he was... Shalom, he was in Toronto for many years. And he put out a tape on Zmiris, which I can't find. But I remember when he says, Kol Mekadesh, there's only one. And I start singing, he goes, no, Kol Mekadesh has a nusach.
Nusach?
That's what he said. There's a standard tune. And I know that whenever I say something like this, I'm going to get a bunch of comments from people who will tell me where it is and how to find it, etc. So I'm throwing it out there. But he says there's a nusach to Kol Mekadesh that, like I said, I wanted to listen to the tape, and of course I misplaced it, and I want to be able to hear it. So, but he says no, there's a traditional Kol Mekadesh that everyone sings.
Okay,
but I don't know what it is.
We'll have it in the links in the description.
Menucha v'simcha. So let's there's
a lot of those.
Let's deal with the elephant in the room.
There's a lot of
Shlomo
those.
Kolbach.
Right.
You sing Kolbach?
Like generally?
Yeah.
Are you asking me like a general question?
Yes.
I do.
Because there are those people who Kolbach.
I'm sorry to say I'm not that from.
I don't even know the question I'm from. Baruch David Simon told me he met somebody who was the person in this story, that there were these yeshiva guys in some pizza place. You know the story?
Yes.
And Kolbach comes over and he says, "Oh, my holy brothers." And I said, "You're not my brother. You're Navarian. You're Navarian. You don't keep Torah. You don't keep mitzvahs. You hug women. You do this." So he says, "If I do tshuva, will you let me sit with you?" I says, "Yeah." And he sits down in the corner like this, I don't know how long it was. And he says, "Okay, I'll never do it again." And they eat together, and then the next day he was on a plane and he passed away.
Yes. So, I heard this story, yes.
So he says, he gave me the number of the kid, who of course I never called because I misplaced it.
It's right next to the tape.
It's right next to the tape. Oh my God. Anyway, so my mother used to say to me, "You'd lose your head if it wasn't attached." Anyway, so
you know
the problem with that tune is?
What?
It doesn't end.
That's all the Kolbach songs.
It just keeps going.
That's another Goinus.
It doesn't have an ending.
This is like a lesson in like Goinus in creating songs. If you create a song that doesn't end, so then once again you get it. They're stuck with you. They're stuck with your song. It can't stop. So
I'll tell you an interesting thing that when I was a kid, I was born in 1959, so we used to have what were called 45 RPM records.
I heard of those.
Right? And you'd put
we
them on.
We even had them.
And you'd listen to them, and when they ended, they faded out. Okay. Like Jewish songs always had an ending. bum 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 bum. Yeah, but they would just slowly fade out. And they said the reason is because then you feel like you didn't finish the song and you put it on again. So I feel like a Kolbach Niggunim is the same way.
Yes.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, and I have a friend, fellow composer who I've used some of his songs on my albums, who always said to me, better to make your song short and they have to go back and hear it again if they want to, than to make it long and they're going to skip it. So there you are. So Menucha v'Simcha. Then there's, of course, the Menucha v'Simcha.
Where's that tune from?
I have no idea.
The problem with that song is, I happen to really enjoy that song. It puts you right to sleep. Especially on a short Friday when you're like tired.
Well, it's because you already had the soup. You had the matzo ball.
So I'm saying if you sing this when they serve the soup.
To feel drowsy.
No, even before. They'll serve the soup and you'll tumble over and drown. It has sort of a lullaby quality to it. Menucha v'Simcha. And you could just start it and you see everyone go,
And then there's Miami Boys Choir. Menucha v'Simcha. Orla Yehudim. Yom Shabbos.
Yom Shabbos.
Yom Achmadim.
Were you there when they did that one?
Well, I'll tell you a little story about this song. I came into the choir in 1988. Okay. And they had put out a whole bunch of albums in the early 80s. B'siyata D'Shmaya and Klal Yisrael Together and Shabbos Yerushalayim.
Shabbos Yerushalayim.
Walking through the streets, I feel my face aglow. So they had put out one of the albums, had this Menucha v'Simcha on it, and we had to learn the harmony. And I must say, I was recalcitrant in my duties as a choir boy.
Great word.
Yeah.
Hard to work into a conversation.
Yeah, that's really good. I don't want everyone to know what I actually just said. That's why I said that. So I didn't learn the harmony, and he saw me going. I don't know. He's like, did you learn that? I'm like, no. And I started crying. I was 9 years old.
Really?
Yeah, those were. I never came to a practice without having learned the harmony after that. It was like
harmony.
Shamayim, Shamayim.
It's also a very beautiful tune.
Yeah, so that's really pretty. That's the one that we do on Friday night usually.
When I'm tired. And I do my fast tunes. No, that's Goldwag.
I'm saying, but that's fast. That's
that doesn't end. That's why I can't do that one. Okay. No, I do the other pirchei.
Which?
I don't know if it's a pirchei. We call it the carnival one. Menucha v'Simcha Orla Yehudim Yom Shabbos Yom Chamadim Shemra v'Zachrav Hey Mamedim Kir Shagabruim v'Yamdim
We have to have
Shemei Shamayim Eretz v'Yamim Kol Tzva Morom Golim v'Ramim Tanin v'Yadam v'Chayas v'Heimim Ki v'Gashem Zoylamim. Oh, so it goes very fast.
I don't know that one. We need to.
You don't know it?
No, we need to have a Friday night together again.
Oh my gosh!
When was the last time that we had a Friday night together? Remember the first Friday night we had together?
Goes back.
Do you remember the first time? I called up. We had just moved in to Agassi, number 54. And I opened up the phone book and I found Rabbi Orlofsky's and I said, "Hi, Rabbi Orlofsky. I'm new on the block. I was wondering if you have guests. My name is Ari Goldwag. Do you remember the story?"
I don't remember you going to those lengths.
But, yeah, we were desperate.
Just remember you would come and I would always hock you about Jewish music. You were like, you wanted to say different Torah, and I was like, yeah, but what about Shrekky? Okay,
I do recall that. Is there any other menucha? I'm trying to think. Oh, I have a menucha v'Simcha.
Do you?
Which is on my album Am Echad, which I happen to know that Nachum Siegel likes very much and plays. It goes Menucha v'Simcha Orla Yehudim Orla Yehudim Yom Shabbos, Yom Achmadim, Yom Achmadim. I'm skipping to the arm bar. Shemei Shemayim, Eretz Yamim, Kol Tzvomorim, Yohim. And I saw someone did a mashup between this song, my song, and Eitan Katz's. Eitan Katz has a song, and these two songs, like they're like
That's
harmonies for each
right?
other. Well, the low part is I'm losing it. It's no, the high part is a niggin, and the low part is Kikarai v'lecha, Kikarai v'lecha. So his low part matches, like sits like. The songs are not actually similar, but the melody, they're like harmonies of each other. So anyway.
My Yedidus. There's the classic.
Is that the one you had in mind?
Yes. Now, the problem with that is, first of all, my Yedidus takes forever to sing.
Right. And there's also like a missing bar or something, so everyone messes it up.
Yeah, so it just takes too long. Now, when I was in yeshiva in Chofetz Chaim, they had a Ma'ididus that they said goes back to Slobodka. That's what they said when I was there, and they said that the Ma'ididus
they sang in Musar yeshivas.
What?
They sang.
You'll hear the tune and you'll understand.
They sang in the Vardik.
The song is a shtick muzer.
They sang in the Vardik.
So Bariche recorded this on one of his Kosalonicas.
Okay.
Ma yedidus menuchasech ad Shabbos hamalka mechen arutz lekrosech Boich ala nesucha levush bigdei chamudois lehadlik ne bivracha v'teichel kavodos lo sasu melacha. Now here's the hard part. We have to stick a lot of words in. Hi, lisaneg bisanugim babur muslave dogim me'erev mazmim kol mini matam miboja muhanim. Ay 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 tarnagolim mifutamim v'laroch kama minim shesaz yedet befufsam saknunim adonim v'chol shalosh b'yamim. So luckily the slow part is slow enough that you can save up your breath for when you have to stick 25 words into it. Right.
The whole yeshiva would sing this together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Again,
everyone would fit the words in the same exact way, or everyone was doing it their own.
You were so busy concentrating on making sure you got it right that you couldn't listen to it. Yeah, and it's sometimes you can slow it down a little bit for people. But there's no fun in that. Because once you get it down.
Hold on, we're not moving on yet. So I also have a song with you
wrote a Ma'ididus, or there's another Ma'ididus?
I composed the song for Ma'ididus, which Benny Friedman actually sings. And on my a cappella albums, we spoke about a cappella once.
Yes.
So we actually do a duet, and my son Moshe Dov is also in that song. Ma'ididus menucha seichat Shabbos amaleko. Geen arutz likerosech vaychal anesucho levush bigdei chamudois leadlik nevivrocho ateichel kalo avadois lo isazu melacho.
That's beautiful.
Lisanei visanugim ayinadadadadadam barurim uslovedogim yadadadadadadam Lisanei visanugim ayinadadadadadam barurim uslovedogim yadadadadadam. So there's actually
That's beautiful.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, thank you. So there's actually
you sing that one?
So Benny sang it originally. There's film of me and Benny doing a concert together in Baltimore where we go through my Karibo and this, my Yedidus and the Shalom Aleichem. And if you want to learn it, you could go there, or just listen over and over to what I just said.
I think it's the second is definitely the more
Better option.
Okay.
My Yuffie's, I don't know anything.
Me either, right? That's what I said.
There's also something missing from this bench. Are you missing Yom Yisrael?
No, it's at the end.
It is?
I'll get you there. Don't worry.
Oh, wow. This one has a lot.
I told you. That's why I took this bench. This is
yes.
from my son's wedding.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
The most mirrors that I found.
Maya Fisuma.
Yom Shabbos Kiddush?
Nope,
me either. Okay. Curry bun.
Okay, we know that. I think we beat this one.
Well, did we do the Vegas one? Curry bun, I love Ve'amaya Antu Malka Melech Malchaya Oy v'gevurteh Simaya Shvak Adamach Le'aravaya Ay Kariban Aylam Ve'amaya Antu Malka.
You're doing it again. Speaking of long. I guess by the end of the meal, you're allowed to do the schleppy ones.
I find that as a haunting.
It's very
and I will never forget, I was at a Shabbos Friday night meal in the JLE in London. And they sat me with a group of young people, and they put like a rabbi at each table, etc. The idea being that the people would talk to them. Instead, they were much more interested in talking to themselves. And I was sitting there by myself, counting my fillings with my tongue, all the kind of stuff that you do. Nobody wants to talk to you. And at one point, I closed my eyes and I sang this song quietly to myself, because to me, Shmiras has a lot of power. You understand, when I became Shmiras Shabbos, my parents were not Shmiras Shabbos. They would go to work, and I would eat by myself and sing Shmiras to myself. So they have a very special meaning for me. Anyway, so I sing this quietly to myself. When I open my eyes, everyone's staring at me. And I was like, sorry, did I? Yeah, so they said, that was beautiful. That was haunting. I never heard anything like that. So that made an impression on me of that tune.
Well, there's a few other ones.
Wait, the classic.
What's the classic?
Kariban Olam Ve'yomaya Ve'yomaya Antu Malka Melech Malchaya Melech Malchaya Oy Ve'gevurteh V'simhaya Hoy Shvar Kadamach Le'arvaya Oy, Kariban. That's when you're in the, your old mode,
That's like...
my father-in-law used to sing that one. That was the old one. You don't know where that comes from.
No way.
That's an old one.
It's an oldie. It's at least as old as mine.
Then there's the Pirchei one.
Plus 50.
When I'm tired and I do that fast.
That's Yachmiel Begun. That's his tune.
Is it? That's in Miami?
Well, it's Toronto Pirchei, but that's his tune.
Shvar Kadamach Le'arvaya Kariban Olam Bam 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 Ve'yomaya Antu Malka Melech Malchaya. So, like I said, when I do that, my carnival menucha v'simcha, I do this Kariban when I'm
you're right. It's
just trying to
right
keep
space.
things going.
So there's a Regesh Kariban, Rabbi Brazil. I Kariban Olam Ve'olmayo Antu Malka Melech Malchaya And there's an old MBD Karibon. How's it go? I gotta pull it out.
I'm thinking of this one. Karibon Olam ve'almaya.
That's also Dvekas. Maybe that's the Baruch Menzelevsky one. Melech Malchaya Avan Gevurtech V'simhaya. That's also on the same. That's on Vegas 5.
Melech Malchaya, Melech Malchaya. I've tried this in my Shabbos table a few times, but people...
Nobody knows that song.
No, forget about whether they know it or not. It's harder to sing.
Yeah,
it's harder to sing. It takes more skill.
We forgot the classic Karlbach. Kadisha Divracha Nafsho Irin Kadishin Luvdei Enosho Chevas Biro Yoifei Shemai. Are there Hasidic Koribans? I'm sure there are.
I have to get a chassid on because I don't. It's like I was making fun once
doing
about
all the Litvish tunes, right?
I was making fun once of the how annoying the Harachman Yokem Lanu Sukkos David Nafalos is, And Sukkos David Nafalos Harachman Yokem Lanu and Sukkos David Nafalos Harachman Yokem. It's like Malchus, and so
that's why it's still around.
So one of my Hasidic Rabbi Orlofsky crazies, he says to me, "What are you talking about?" He says, "There's a whole bunch of Hasidic Niggunim," and he sent me a recording of one, and I didn't even know. So this whole world is a mystery to me, Even though my grandfather comes from Vengrov, and somebody told me the whole town was Ger, so Ken Zayn I'm a Ger Chassid, could be.
Okay, I'm Chartkov. I think both my father's parents were both Hasidic Chartkov. I don't know.
My wife's family is Hasidic from all sides. Everybody.
A Hasidic friend of mine said, "Of course, there's obviously Hasidic blood if you're making up songs."
So I don't know the other, but what are the Koribans?
There's the MBD one. No, it goes. Kariboino lam ve'amaya Anti Malku Melech Malchayu.
That was from just one Shabbos. No?
It's on I don't want to think. I'd rather pray.
It's that
old? 1970s. Even though it's before my time, I know it.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good Kariban.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But you don't hear people singing it.
I sing it sometimes. Come to that's why you should come to my house. Or I should come to your house.
Shalom, Shalom. Right, that's the classic.
And then Shmuel Brazil has to me Shalom Baruch Emunai Sama and same kind of Malchus. He has a whole album of Shabbos songs. I think it's Regesh Volume 7.
What
is it? 2? Well, he has 2 Shabbos albums. That's right.
So that's the classic. So then there's we call it the Russian one here. Tzur mishalom, mishalom, achalnu baruchu emunai, sovanu ve'osanu kideva Hashem, hazan esalamoro, Einu avinu achal nu es lachma v'yeinu shasinu ay 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 al kein neider lishmahu na'alelo bevinu armanu ve'anyenu en kodesh k'Hashem. Hey, so mishalom achal nu baruchu emunai. Hey, so vanu ve'ozanu kidva Hashem.
Hey,
Bishir v'kol. This one is like you have to do a kazatzka to it.
I don't know this song. Who made up this song, Rabbi?
I don't know where to
You made it up.
I didn't make up nothing. I can't. But then we had what we called the Irish one. Now I know I was singing this back in the 1980s, so I don't know where it came from. We used to call it the Irish one. Tzar mishalo achalnu baruchu emunai, savanu ve'osarnu kidvar Hashem. Tzar mishalo achalnu baruchu emunai,
Sounds very final.
savanu ve'osarnu kidvar Hashem. Hazon esolamo roeinu avinu, achalnu es lachmo ve'yeinu shasinu, al keno delishmo na'alelo befinu, umanu ve'anyenu, en kodesh Hashem, tzar mishalo achalnu, baruchu emunai, hey, savanu ve'ozanu.
You like to stick in haze, whether it's Russian or Irish.
This is like it feels like a drinking song. You should have a mug in your hand, you know. So when I do that, and I do the kari bun, I do that Tzor Mishalo.
You like to have it like themed.
There's a theme. There's a theme to it. If I'm doing like, you know, kari bun, you know, and menucha v'simcha, so then I'll do the Tzor Mishalo. You know, stick with the classics.
Theme.
Tzoma nafshi?
Tzoma nafshi leilakim lekecha libi usari ranenu kechayke echa birani v'yamarcha yani kila yirani avadam v'chavay tzoma nafshi leilakim lekecha libi usari ranenu elkecha.
Is this a classic?
I think so.
Oh, we never sang it when I was in Yeshiva. Is there any others, or that's the only
That's
one?
the only one I know.
Okay, now I only know one, Yom Zel Yisrael. My kids go crazy when I sing this.
This one?
They go crazy. No, because I never do it with that much enthusiasm. Yom Zel Yisrael.
When you do this, Tzur Mishalo is like right before benching. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like
I go in
the
order.
stanzas. You do the order of this one?
Yeah.
So you sing Tzur Mishalo long before benching.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yom Zel Yisrael, Hayra v'simcha, Hayra v'simcha, Shabbos menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Hayra v'simcha, Shabbos menucha.
I do it different. Shabbos. We do it fast.
I understand. That's why when I do it, I get through the first line, and my crowd is in open rebellion. This song also
doesn't have a high part. It's just the same thing.
Shabbos menucha. No, this is the high part. Yom Zel
Yisrael. Oh, you do it a little faster, so now it's the high part.
Shabbos menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael. So that's it. If anyone's still awake from that first,
so I have a song with these words as well. It's on one of my acapella albums. I actually did it. There's a young man in the UK named Eitan Freilich who sang this song. he sang the song, but we did it together also on Akba. Tzvisa bikudim b'mamad Har Sinai, Shabbos u'moyadim nishmor b'chol shonai, la'arach lefonai masei svarucho, Shabbos menucho, ovayoyim zeli Yisrael oiro v'simcha, oiro v'simcha, Shabbos menucha, yoyim zeli Yisrael oiro v'simcha, Shabbos menucha.
It's very pretty. Do you know anyone who does it?
I do it.
You do it? Very good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
All right.
I don't know anybody else. Actually, no, it's not true. I met somebody on the street. Usually on Shabbos, I go for a little spazier on Shabbos afternoon, and randomly people come over to me and say all kinds of things. But this family came over to me and said, "Oh, we love all your songs and we sing your Yom Yisrael." I'm like, "You do? Cool." Okay.
Okay. Do you ask Kiddush Sudos at every?
No, girls, I've no Yom Shabbos. Yeah. I don't do it. I don't really know it so well.
I know the tune, but I never heard anybody actually sing it.
This is Hasidish, that's why you don't know it.
Sheesh. All right, so if there are any famous Hasidic singers out there who would like to be on the Rabbi Orlofsky show and do some Hasidic and Niggunim to help us Hasidic impaired
to
people,
broaden our
vistas,
horizons and vistas.
Horizons, good.
Sorry.
Okay, we're up to the day.
It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Torah and Simcha, ready to go. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Knowledge and wisdom will help you grow. Lots of fun in every episode. And we don't have to rhyme. No, we don't. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show on RabbiOrlofsky.com. Torah anytime, YouTube and more. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Torah and Simcha, ready to go. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Till next time, till we meet again. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show.